So, Katie, there's a few people that are joining us on Facebook Live. Is it any way that we can see them? Because we can go ahead and get started if they're on Facebook Live.
You can check the other device you have, and then you can see how many viewers you have on the Facebook Live on the tablet. Yeah.
Okay, so right now
Okay.
I'm
Right now, I
seeing,
can see Mom Crystal Harris and Mom Teresa Jackson.
yeah, and
They're
so we
watching the live.
also, yeah, I do. Hi, Crystal. Hey, Teresa. I think Vinny is gonna come on with us.
Okay.
Vinny, you here?
You can start, Mom, if you.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you all so much for taking the time out to join us today. This is a very dear subject to my heart. The reason for this, and you all let me know if you can hear me, if you're hearing me good or not. Just give me a thumbs up, and I will ask that you all put, if you're interested or you have comments, please put them in the chat box, and Katie will let you know. I first want to start off just introducing my Katie. Katie, my lady. Katie, can you come on the screen for me? Are you there?
Hello, Ma'am. Hi, everyone. My name is Kate. Nice to meet you all.
So Katie
I'm
is
from
my
Philippines.
assistant. I could not do this job without her. If you have if you're on, please mute your phone. Katie, you may have to mute people that are on just for now because we can hear the background information. I mean, the background noise real good. But Katie is my assistant. Come back on camera, Katie, and I'll come on as well. Am I on?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay. It's Katie. Katie is my assistant. She works behind the scene, working on all of my transactions. So if we anything that we need, we'll be reaching out to Katie. Anything that I need in my business, I reach out to Katie. Katie is the one that makes everything happen. I'm the face of the business, but she is actually my right-hand person. I could not do this job without her. So I want you all to meet my transactional coordinator. Her name is Katie, my lady. So if you see anything that comes from Pain Free Transactions, you are 9 times out of 10 speaking with Katie. Okay. So I
Thank you,
thought that I
ma'am.
thank you so much. And Katie, I'm gonna wave to everybody and just say hello. Yeah, she is amazing. And again, I could not do this. I couldn't even put on this podcast without her. She's amazing. Thank you, Katie. So Katie will be helping me out with my slides and all of that. And the purpose of this podcast is to talk about home buying. Whether you are located in the Washington, D.C. area where I am licensed. I am Patrice Payne with Keller Williams Preferred Properties. I am licensed in DC and in Maryland and soon to be Virginia at some point in time. But right now, that's my license. I'm able to refer out in all over the United States and outside of the country as well. So if you're ever looking for a realtor, please make sure that you reach out to me. If it's outside of the states, I can still help you as well. So I want to get started today talking about how do we go about purchasing a home in the Maryland and DC area. So just to let you all know that we have the market is doing wonderful today, and there's things that are happening in the market that it's a bit exciting for us because people are out purchasing. I mean, the weather is changing. We are seeing more buyers out in the field purchasing. We see so many people listing their homes, and so there's a home out there for each and every one of you all. So let's get started, Katie, and let's get ready. Let's get ready for home buying features. Okay, Katie, can we mute whomever? So Katie, you're gonna have to mute people as we go along, just so that, you know, we can make sure everybody can hear. So I'm gonna mute. Okay. All right, Katie, let's get started.
Okay, ma'am.
So it's Katie is preparing with our slides and our presentation. Katie, I can barely see that.
Can you see the slide, ma'am? The first
I
one.
cannot. It's small. Okay, Yanni, can you let me know if you can see the slides or not? I'm gonna unmute you.
I see, yeah, the screen is there, ma'am.
You see it? Maybe it's on my side that I'm not seeing it. It's very small. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Nope, don't have it.
The first one is it too small, ma'am, on your end?
It's small on my end.
Are you using the tablet or?
Nope. I'm using my computer. Sorry, you're for the technical difficulties. I'm going to go through these slides with Katie. And Katie is rather small to me.
That how about that one?
That's my Katie. That's why you're my lady. Thank you all
Okay.
for being patient with me. Okay, so now I can see the slides. Thank you, Katie. You're so amazing. I just want to talk about, I understand you are looking for a new home. There's quite a bit of us out here that's looking for new homes. And there's some of us that's just in the process of thinking about purchasing a new home. And what I want to be is your real estate professional to help you. And I want to work with each and every one of my clients individually.
That's our code.
Taking the time to understand the uniqueness and the lifestyles that everyone has. So everyone has some different needs and wants. There's criteria for everyone that's out here. Some people want to buy a condo. Some people want to purchase a single family home. Some people want townhomes. So the most important thing to me is finding something that fits your needs. So my goal is to help you purchase a home and to stay in the house as long as you want. That's my motto. Katie is aware, and this is what we look for, and this is how we try to help our clients. So again, the model is to help you find a home and stay in the home as long as you want to, and sell the home in the time when you're ready to sell it. So, and we'll get a little more into that as we move on. I do this with a pain-free process. That's me. So if any of you all know, my name is that I am the house fanatic with the pain-free process. It's not about me, it's all about you. You and your selling. If you're selling the home, it's about you. If you're purchasing the home, it's about you. My reason for being here is being the expert to help you get through that transition easily. Next slide, Katie. The first thing I want to talk about is what to do and how the home buying process works. The very first thing you want to do is to select a real estate agent. You want to also obtain financing. And most of the times we get approached, real estates get approached, or I get approached by my clients, and they say, I want to purchase a home. In most cases, they don't know where to get started at. I did actually have a young lady to tell me yesterday that she actually already had a lender. So what we do is we refer you out to lenders. We'll obtain several lenders for you to help you get there. So we don't pick your lenders. We ask that you pick your own lenders, but we do have recommendations. I have several recommendations for lenders. I actually may have a few lenders online today. I'm not 100% sure, but there were a few that we invited today. Analyze your needs as a buyer, and then we do a buyer's consultation, pretty much like what we're doing right now. Okay. And then also we select properties after we do a buyer's consultation, and after you've been pre-approved by your lender, we start going out and we then start shopping. So that's when you view your properties. Okay. And then right after that, we get an offer once you find something, and then your seller says, yes, I want to do business with this buyer. And then we get you to the next level, and then there's an offer that's submitted. Once your offer is submitted, the offer then is, if it's accepted by your seller, then we begin to write and start negotiating the terms. Okay. But the most important thing at this time is your credit check. You have to make sure that your credit is up. We have to make sure anywhere between 640 is a good starting place. However, the higher you go, the better off it is for you. Okay. So now that we've talked about that, we'll go to the next slide, and there's more. And so we'll get in depth with this. Okay. So get pre-qualified. So in order to get pre-qualified, there's a pre-qualification that is done by your real estate agent. We ask you questions about, have you obtained a lender at this time? So what you do is we find your lender, you select your lender, you complete a loan pre-qualification, you submit the basic documentations, and then you discuss what you can afford, and then finalize pre-qualifications. Great job, Kim. Okay, shop for a home. Submit an offer. Remember, we went through the list of things that we were going to be discussing on this meeting. So you shop for a home, you submit an offer, the offer get accepted by the seller, and congratulations, now you have a ratified contract. So a ratified contract says both parties have agreed that they are going to work together. And so not only did the seller accept not only did you submit an offer, but your seller also accepted your offer. So there are times where sellers do not accept offers, because sometimes we have multiple offers, and sometimes we're competing. So you want to always come with your best step. So I always say, come with your best and final offer. What is good? What is negotiable? If you really want the property, you want to make sure that you have put your best foot forward, because there's other people that are shopping around as well, and they may want that same house that you're looking for. Isn't that something? There's one house, there could be one house, and we've seen it where there's one house and 30 people are offering. We've seen it where there's one house and one person has offered. So between 1 to 30 people could be looking at the same house that you're looking for, which is the reason why we want to make sure that you're pre-qualified before we even start shopping. And that's the reason for us looking around like this, because for a lender, because we want to make sure that you are qualified. Because in the event that you go out and the seller, you love this house, and the seller says, okay, we're waiting on your offer. You submit your offer, and then you are not qualified. And then that does something to you. So we like for you to be prepared. So pre is the word that you're going to keep hearing. Pre-qualified, let me go back. You will hear prepared, pre-qualified, and pre-approved. Okay. So we want to make sure that you are prepared. We also want to make sure that you're pre-qualified, meaning you must have 2, 2, and 2, and 2. So I always tell people that the rule of thumb is to have two pay stubs. And I don't know if I have a lender on here or not. I would love to have a lender on. Let me see if I can get a lender on for us really quickly. We would love to have two years of services that you worked on your job. Not only do you need to be on your job for 2 years, you need to have 2 years of pay stubs, 2 months of bank statements. You also need to have two months of bank statements, and then you need to have 2 W-2s. So those are the pre-qualification information that you would need in order to get started. And I think most of us have that. So I'm going to see if I could get a lender on and see if they can come on and talk a little bit about that pre-qualification. And there will be some question and answers at the end, but we just want to get through the slides and, you know, be able to help you understand the entire process. Okay, next slide, Katie. So in talking to Katie, we're always revisiting, you know, our model and also our documents to make sure that we're introducing our buyers and our sellers to everything that we can remember. So here's one of the things that I want everybody to remember. Agent, that's me, your house fanatic, will always tell you that it is important that you get a home inspection. Home inspections are so important in this day and time. It's like taking your car to get inspected. And I always use this analogy. And one of the things I would say, in order for you to get, when you purchase a used car from an individual, you always have to take your car in for Maryland inspection or DC inspection or Virginia inspection. I don't really know how Virginia works, but in DC and in Maryland, you have to go get your car inspected. When you go to the inspector will tell you what's wrong with that car or that car is in good standing. It's almost the same thing as when you're purchasing a home. Your home inspector will let you know that, you know, this house is in good shape. There's a few things that I recommend that you get fixed. It may be minor things. A lot of times we find minor things because most sellers are looking at their properties and trying to keep it up, keep the property up, because most of them know that is how they get their best and final offer. So you always want to get an appraisal. So the importance of getting an appraisal is because the lender will only lend to you only at the amount that you are approved for. So in this case, if you wanted to go out and purchase a home that's $500,000 and your lender has only approved you for $350,000, the lender will only give you funding up to the appraised amount. So anything over the appraised amount, that will be between you and the seller, but we recommend that you get an appraisal so that you will not be coming to the table or going over your max of what the lender said that you're approved for. Get a home warranty. So a home warranty is, think about, I get a lot of buyers that say, well, you know, I don't really want to purchase and I'm okay with renting. I can call the maintenance man and all of that. So getting a home warranty is when you have your own personal maintenance people. So what happens is that you get a home warranty, you pay for it. It costs up anywhere between, I've seen it between $45 and maybe $85 a month, or some people just pay it for annually. And so what generally happens is that if your washing machine, your dryer, any of your appliances go out, you have this home warranty and you can reach out to the home warranty company and say, hey, I need someone here to fix my appliance. If in fact that they cannot fix your appliances, most of the time they'll replace your appliances. Now, sometimes they'll replace it with the same appliance, and other times they may give you the market value, but they generally come out to fix your appliance. They do come out to fix your appliance, but they generally give you the opportunity to purchase a new one on them. So this is important to know when you are a first-time home buyer and that you're aware of these kind of things, because what generally happens for people that are newly in the market and looking to purchase, they're afraid that they won't have that maintenance man. Well, you'll always have that maintenance man if you have that home warranty. Okay, so get title insurance. So the title insurance is a very important thing. And I'll just give you an example of when I purchased. So when I purchased my home, I purchased title insurance. So the title insurance is to protect you as the buyer. So if there's some previous things that liens or anything that may have been on that house, the title insurance will allow you to go back to your title company and say, hey, this is something that we found that did not come up during the process of me purchasing this house. So then they'll take a look at it, and it protects you. It protects you from previous liens that may have been on that house. So guess who doesn't have to pay it? You, as the new homeowner. So isn't that great? That's amazing. So I normally do these agent recommendations just because I think that is so important that you are aware that we are, as real estate agents, are on your side. We're here to facilitate and help you navigate through the home buying process. So that's what we're here for. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you have a real estate agent. Okay. Don't try to do it on your own, because we are the experts, and you will go out there and you may just purchase a lemon and you may not have all of these agent recommendations behind you. So why not? And this is just me speaking to my clients. When after you make a purchase, why or not until you speak with your title company? So we ask people to make sure that they protect their funding when they're purchasing a home. Don't go out and start purchasing other items while you're in the process of purchasing a home. Don't go get a new car. Don't open up new bank accounts. Credit card accounts. Don't do, we have a laundry list of things that we say do not do. There's a 10 commandment list of don't do's when you're purchasing a home. So this is my own personal one. Why you're not funding until you speak with a title company, because many of us know that today there are people out here that are committing fraud, and we want to protect you. So this is the reason why you need to have a real estate agent, because we have an eye for all of these things, which I call the agent recommendations. Thank you. We can move forward, Katie. This is a great slide. And I threw this in here because it's necessary for everyone to be aware of these kind of things that happen while you're out looking. So we're going to go back to the beginning, the loan process. And I was hoping that I could get someone on, my lender, just to talk about it. And I don't see either of the two. But I'm going to go ahead and do this, but they can give you a better synopsis and an overview of what the loan process looks like. So begin the loan process. Activate your loan application. This is after you have a ratified contract. So you start your application, you lock in your interest rates and order your appraisal. Remember, my recommendations was for you to get an appraisal. The lender, 9 times out of 10, is going to recommend that you get an appraisal. And the reason for that is because of the fact that they're lending you the money. Now, if you're a cash buyer, you don't have to ask for you don't have to ask for an appraisal. But in most cases, I will recommend that people get appraisals. Okay. So right after that, you're going to sign loan disclosures and provide additional documentations to the lender. This information will be sent to the underwriter. So think about the underwriter. The underwriter, what do you think about when you hear underwriter? So that's like the undertaker, the person that's going deep down, So I always say the underwriter is the one that will go take a deep dive into your finances into things, activity, your financial activities that you may have already done. So I would say make sure that all of your documentations are in place, that you look at your financial when they do run your credit report, that you know exactly what's going on. If there's anything out there that may not have come up on your credit report, maybe you was 2 months or a month late about 2 years ago. They'll bring that up and they'll ask you questions about that. But don't be alarmed, because they'll ask you a question and they will allow you to explain the why. Okay. And so we can move right on, and you all may see my lender one of them is texting me, and he said that he'll come on. And I just want to have you all give him a little bit of time to be able to talk to you just a little further. Okay, let's go, Katie, my lady. We just talked about the underwriter. So I beat myself to my slide. So underwriter, as I said, the underwriter takes a deep dive into your financials. And so they also, before making a credit decision on your loan. So they're the one that's going to go really deep. So remember, we talked about the pre's. So we talked about the be prepared. That's your job. The pre-approval, the pre-qualification is the lender's job. The lender will pre-qual you. He'll ask you all of those questions that I just talked about. The 2, 2, and 2, and 2. Have you been on your job for 2 years? Do you have 2 months of pay stubs? Do you have 2 months of bank statements? And can you produce this by showing 2 W-2s? So these are all of your pre-qualifications that the underwriter will look at. So the underwriter reviews your loan, and they also may give you some conditions. So what is a condition? The condition may be, hey, you need to pay that telephone bill that you probably forgot about because you switched from AT&T over to Sprint, and you're like, oh God, I didn't realize, because it's not on my credit report, but it'll come up. So the lender will then look at the information and say, here's a condition that I need you to correct before the underwriter move further. So keep in mind, we don't get to talk to the underwriter. You don't get to talk to the underwriter. Who gets to talk to the underwriter? The lender. And that's why it is so, so important for you to have a lender. And I actually have a couple of lenders, and I think I have one that just joined a minute ago. Nate, are you here? And I will tell you that with a real estate agent, most of the time, we do not get in the way of the lender. We may talk to the lender, work with the lender with you, but we do not get in the way of the lender. So Nate, you're here?
Yeah, I'm here. How you doing?
Great. I'm glad you was able to join. I know you were in the middle of some other things. I just wanted to take the time out and just have you to go over, because actually I'm in your territory right now. So I'm on slide number 6, and slide number 6 is talking about the underwriter, but I can slide back up. Let me just finish through this, and then I want you to go through some of the things that you and I talk about, what we do when we're working with our clients, and when there is what needs to happen in order for them to be able to purchase. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's get through slide 7. Come on, Katie, my lady. So your loan is approved and it's time to go to the closing department. So I really want to stop right here, because like I said, I have the lender here, and while I am educated because of the lenders, right? And I am not a loan officer, nor do I do loans, right? And so I pretty much can tell you at the level that I've been taught, and I've been taught pretty well because I work with amazing lenders. I have, like I said, I have several lenders, and we refer you out, But this lender, because he's here, he can tell you all about what needs to happen throughout the course of you getting prepared. Remember, prepared, pre-qualified, and pre-approved. So Nate, you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. So Patrice, first and foremost, thank you for allowing me to, hop in really quick on your platform. And for everyone out there, just to introduce myself, my name's Nathaniel Mosley. I'm a mortgage banker with Direct Mortgage Loans. We're a local independent banker here in Timonium, so we're local. And I know I'm just coming in now. It looks like you're talking about the loan is approved. So just kind of give me an idea of where you want me to kind of highlight and kind of tee off a little bit, just so we're on the same page.
So Nate, you can go ahead and start with the process. If I was coming to your table today and I wanted to purchase a home, what would you tell me? How do I get started?
Yeah, good question. So for starters, we definitely would want you to get pre-approved. And in doing that, we would set up a consultation. And first and foremost, why is it important to get pre-approved? Well, essentially myself or Patrice, the last thing we don't want you to do is go out into the market, find a home, fall in love with it, only to find out it's outside of your budget. So with the pre-approval, it allows you to really level set and realistically have a budget of what you can actually afford, okay? So again, the first steps is to find out what your financial capabilities are. And we do that by way of, looking at your credit, reviewing your debt to income ratio. And if in fact we see that there are credit hurdles, we do take the extra step to providing a need solution for getting your credit, up to speed, okay? So again, once you're pre-approved, that gives you the confidence to then go out with Patrice to go out to, find your home, all right? So not sure how detailed you want me to get into, but again, once we look at your debt to income ratio, we also dictate your buying power, see if you have any assets that you're going to use to purchase the home, and if applicable, we'll also look into any down payment assistance programs as well. So we work with a ton of HUD approved agencies throughout the state of Maryland and municipalities, counties, and or cities to help first-time home buyers and even some existing buyers with funding, okay? So we'll look through all of that during our consultation. And again, the goal here is to get you pre-approved so that you can have that confidence or piece of paper, if you will, to search for your home. I think you're on mute, Patrice.
So Nate, thank you so much for that. Katie, let's go to the next slide because I want to make sure, and Nate, you can go as deep as you would like, right? Because I want everyone to get to that settlement day, right? And so in this case, we can start taking some questions and answers. If anyone have any questions, and we can unmute you, and because while we have Mr. Mosley here, I really do, if you have any questions, this is a safe platform. If you have questions, there's no question that is crazy. Nobody will look at you any different. We all need to, every one of us, this is a huge investment as we're talking about home buying. And we want to make sure that you get what you need to have, but we're also going to drop Mr. Mosley's information in the chat. So Nate, you want to take it away? And then at some point in time, I can be adding your information.
Yeah, sure. So again, I know we talked about the first steps, getting you pre-approved. And again, once you and Patrice are out in the market looking for your home and you found one, you then submit an offer. Once we get that offer, that's when the clock starts ticking. Now, our team can close loans anywhere between 15 to 21 days. We have actually been we can be as aggressive as 7 to 10 business days in terms of closing, okay? So once we get, your ratified contract, it then goes through disclosing where we provide, your loan estimate. And essentially this gives you a breakdown of the cost of the home you're buying. by law, we are required to disclose any fees and things of that sort that are applicable to your purchase. And then again, we're going to work on getting the property appraised, right? Because again, you want to make sure your house is at a reasonable value and things of that sort. And then it'll just go through another underwriting stage where we go through what's called a conditional approval. Now, this means that our underwriters have put the stamp on it, but there are slight items that are still needed in order to get you closer to the finish line, okay? These items could be as small as, hey, we need updated bank statements, we need you to pay off another credit card, or we need a most recent pay stub, okay? Once we have all of that information, we'll then send it back to our underwriters for a clear to close. And that's when everyone involved would get excited, because that kind of gives us the okay that we're even more closer to the finish line, the clear to close. And in that capacity, the title company and or the my closer would then balance everything out, make sure you're good to go, in which case you'll receive your final bottom line, okay? And that's settlement day, okay? And I mean, at that rate, when settlement day come, you know, we're all at the table. You're, as people would say, I'm signing my life away. But again, it's definitely a monumental time, very exciting. We really take pride in, you know, working with all of our clients. You know, we tell people that purchasing a home it's a big deal. It's like getting married. It's like having your first child or graduating, you know, and we want to make sure this is a fruitful experience for you and your families. So so that's kind of like a high level bird's eye view of, you know, start to finish, contract to close, and, you know, going to settlement, and getting you into your home. So yeah, so you guys just let me know if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to answer any of them, you know, really dive into any nuances.
Hi, Nathaniel. This is Ayana. I just direct message you a question. I don't know if you see it.
Oh, let's take a look. Let's see what you got. All right.
And that question is based on out-of-pocket down payment.
Got you. Okay, can you explain what benefits of having down payment would have on a mortgage payment? Yeah, so this is a really good question. So down payment does play an impact on, you know, your loan amount. Now, how much it varies. Now, I would tell you, let's say if you're buying a, you know, $350,000 home, you're buying a $350,000 home and you say, I want my mortgage to be, well, let's go even further. Let's say you find a $400,000 home and you say, you know what, I want my mortgage to be $2,000. Now, realistically, in today's market, it's going to be hard to find a $400,000 home with a $2,000 mortgage with the bare minimum of, let's say, 3.5% or 5%. You're literally going to have to put down, you know, anywhere between, let's say, $90,000 to $100,000 for you to see any significant changes in your mortgage payment. Okay, so down payment does help. Now it also depends on, you know, back end costs and things of that sort. So again, as I explained, we do work with HUD approved agencies to try to bridge that gap in terms of what you have and what you'll need to bring to the table. For an example, let's say you go out into the market and you found a home that's $200,000, right? Now, if we do a FHA loan, that's 3.5%. So that means your down payment is going to be $7,000. That's your down payment. But with every home purchase, you have closing costs. Closing cost is anywhere between 3 to 6%. So for this example, let's say your closing cost is $10,000, okay? So we have $7,000 for your down payment. We have $10,000 for your closing costs. And if we add those two together, that's $17,000 you would need to bring to the table, okay? Now, again, if we're leveraging down payment assistance programs, let's say we can get you, you know, $10,000, then that means you'll only need to bring $7,000 to the table, okay? So I know I just gave you a water hose full of information. So let me know if I answered your question or if it's anything you want me to, you know, further go in detail.
You definitely answered my question and some more. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Good question.
Okay,
Hello,
go ahead.
hello, hello, Nate. Patrice, thank you for having me on here. This has been great information. I'm really getting a lot from you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The question that I have, Nate, I know interest rates have been one of the biggest challenges for a lot of home buyers. At what point during the process do you find that most home buyers lock in the rate? Is that something that you help with? And is there anything that can be done to alter the rate or lessen the rate so that we as buyers can have a comfortable mortgage payment?
Right, good question. So to your first question, we typically lock the rate once we're under contract. Okay. We do track rates and and we do try to find the most, feasible and affordable rate that's conducive to the client's file. To your second point, of what can we do to lower the rate? So one of the biggest, industry features that have been introduced is the 2-1 buy down. So with the 2-1 buy down program, this allows you to have a lower interest rate in the first year, and then it'll go up the second year and then lock the third year. For an example, let's say right now the industry rates right now are around 7%. Well, with the 2-to-1 buy down, for the first year, your rate is 5%. Okay. The second year, your rate is 6%. And at the third year, your rate will then go to 7%, and then it'll lock for the duration of the loan. Okay. So again, that's another program that we leverage for individuals. Now, one thing to keep in mind that one of the key words in that program is buy down. So the question is, who's paying for it? Usually it is the buyer that pays it down, but also you could leverage seller's concession to also help you cover the cost of how much it'll cost to buy that rate down. Okay. So again, that's not a one size fit all type of program. We do, during our consultation, we present that to all our clients to see if it's even worth it. Because typically speaking, if the cost of buying a rate down is a lot, we would typically say, well, why won't you just buy the rate down for the life of the loan instead of a temporary 2 years? Okay, so it really has to do with the client's goals, objectives, to see whether or not it's more advantageous to go that route. Okay.
Excellent, excellent. So there are options and opportunities for those of us that may want to get in the house, but may be fearful of a high interest rate.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, thank you. I appreciate that information.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing to keep in mind at a very high level, interest rates right now are scaring a lot of buyers. But one thing to keep in mind is that the ball is really in you guys' court right now, because though rates were significantly lower 1.5 to 2 years ago, you were pretty much paying over par. I'm talking $30,000 to $40,000 over asking price. Well, you don't have that same issue in today's market. Some of the benefits of buyers right now in today's market is, one, you can negotiate, you have negotiating power. Two, you're getting seller's concession now. 2 years ago, you couldn't negotiate seller's concession. Well, that ball is in your court now. The 2-1 buy down is another advantage in the buyer's court right now. So there are a lot of opportunities that I don't think the industry is for or showcasing to potential buyers to really get them in the market to say, you know what, it's not as bad as I think it is. And just to add to that, when you're buying a home, it's a long-term investment. Okay. So just know that whatever rate you have now, there is an opportunity for you to potentially refinance in the forthcoming years. In economics, one thing we look at is forecasting. Typically, the economy go through an entire cycle in 3 to 5 years. Okay, 3 to 5 years, we have gone through an entire economic cycle, whether it's a recession, a drop, a peak, or a recovery. So just know that and keep that in mind, that it's going to be inevitable that rates are going to go up and go down. And if you have that mindset in purchasing your home, you know that whatever rate I have today, it's not going to be the same rate tomorrow.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions out there? All right. Any on your end, Patrice, did you have any other questions or anything? Let me check the chat. Let's see what we got here. All right. Okay, guys. And Patrice was kind enough to put my information in the chat. But again, my name's Nathaniel Mosley with Direct Mortgage Loans. My contact number is 443-740-4038. And my email address is nmosley@directmortgageloans.com. Again, my consultation is free, you know, and again, the consultation is to help you really fine tune an action plan. And guess what? You might not be ready now, and that's fine. But the overall objective is to make sure you have the tools, resources, and confidence you need to enter the market. You know, your buying trajectory might be 6 months to a year, but at least if you speak with a professional such as myself and or Patrice, you can have an action plan to get you to where you need to be. Okay.
And I would ask that you all would utilize the lender, because remember we said our first start is with the lender. And so I do want to make sure that you all are aware that you don't have to, if you don't have a lender, I can always refer you to a lender, just like I was able to get Nate to jump on. It's just that simple. We can have a conversation together. We can sit down. Nate and I we're always sitting down with our clients and looking around and see what product and services actually work for each client. There's not a one size fit all. So when you find yourself, excuse me, you all, when you find yourself talking to your cousin and your girlfriends and all of that, and then they're giving you information, they're just giving you information at the level that they understand. So I just want to let you all know that you have a support system here. You have me as an agent, you have Nate as a lender, and here's what we have to offer you. And we know it, buying versus renting, it's better. And I say that, and I will say that with a very strong conviction. So if you can purchase a home and you get a tax write-off get your interest written off, or you get your taxes written off, those things, that will be a wonderful thing. Now, I do want to ask a question, and I want people to put something in the chat. Do you get a tax write-off for living in your apartment? And if anybody does, can you please let me know and tell me how you're getting that? But do you get a tax write-off? And I just want you to throw it into the chat, and you let me know if you can put your apartment on your taxes and get something back for that. We're gonna have to.
And Patrice, I'm glad you brought this up, because this is a really good conversation here. So I always tell my buyers or first-time home buyers that when you're comparing rent to mortgage, it's like apples to oranges. It's like night and day. And to your point, when you have a mortgage, you can write off 90 to 95% of that mortgage. And what happens is at the end of the year, you get that money back. For an example, let's say right now your rent is $1,800. Let's say you're looking to buy a home that's $200, or let's say you're trying to buy a home and your mortgage is $2,000. So after you've written all of those taxes and insurance off throughout the year, you are pretty much where you are renting, around $1,800 and $1,900. This is why you hear people say, wow, my mortgage is what you're paying in rent. These are some of the advantages you otherwise don't have as a renter. So as you're out there and you're looking for homes and you see the mortgage, don't be afraid of it, because just know that there's significant write-offs that you can take advantage of that you otherwise can't as a renter. Okay. And that's just one of the many write-offs you can take advantage of. We're not talking about my entrepreneurs out there who could, leverage a portion of their home as an office. That's a write-off. And any other applicable write-offs. As you're a first-time home buyer, you get first-time home buyer credits, right? So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity from a tax perspective of purchasing a home versus renting. Just figured out throw that out there.
And Nate, I also wanted to and I want you all to process what he's saying, what he just said. So, but I also want to add to that and just tell you that I normally tell my own story because it's so easy and I've lived with it. There was a few people I asked to come on and to tell their story as well, but they may have gotten a little shy, but they know that I use their stories in my home buying consultations with my clients. And so I'll just give you an example too, as to what happened with me. So at 24 years old, I purchased my first home. I was so excited. I didn't have any money. My girlfriend had to give me $5,000 for the down payment, right? So she gifted me $5,000, and during that time I was able to, purchase a home. I got my home. I was 24. She kept saying, "Hey, you probably need to buy a house." 24 years old. So I purchased the home. The house was very, very, it was the amount of the house was low back then because it was almost 28 years ago. And when I purchased that home, I purchased it for $58,000. I stayed in that property for 20 years, but during the course of that time, I was able to leverage funding that I had that had matured in my property. So I was able to take $160,000 out of that property. So my question was to you all, can you write off your apartment costs? You cannot. But also, can you go back to your landlord and say, "Can I get $160,000 from you, although I paid $58,000?" I also want to bring up, and that's something that I want you to stick a pin in, but I also want you to I want to bring up another situation. I have a cousin. I don't know if she's on here or not, but I told her that I tell her story everywhere I go. My cousin she's not 60 yet, but she's about 57, 58 years old. She purchased her first home. She told me, "Tracy, I purchased it in 1997. She purchased her home in 1997. And that's not 30 years ago. So 30 years ago would be 1993. But she paid her last payment off of $8,000. And her house is in DC. And she is a millionaire. Now, do she have $1 million in the bank? Absolutely not. So don't go knocking on her door. But what I will tell you is that her house is worth $1.2 million. Can your apartment and will your apartment give you that leverage? It does not. So we purchase homes because we want to have a nice place to live. We want to have the stability. We want to get the tax write-off. We also want to get we want to build wealth in there as well. So we don't just purchase homes to dangle it in people's face to say, "Hey, listen, I got a house." That's not what we do. We do it because we want to have a comfortable place for our children. We want to be able to leave a legacy. We want to be able to make sure that we have that leverage, that funding that's in the house as well. So these are all the things that I want to introduce you to. And I don't want to just introduce these to you today. As Nate said, you may not be ready today, but let's think about it and let's continue having these conversations. The reason we're having these conversations is because we want to be in the same place as everyone else, right? So we talked about the rates, and some people say, "Oh, well, the rates are really high." Well, I today did a little research myself on top of already knowing some of this information. And I was actually telling my coach, I said, "I don't know how much I paid when I purchased my first home." And I was like, let me go back and see what the interest rates were back then. The interest rates was 1.3. I'm sorry, 9.3. So today, the interest rates are at a 5 and a 6 and a 7. They're not what they were back then. And so I want you all to start thinking about how you can leverage in this market. And we are coached, we are trained, and we are trying to help coach and develop you into becoming homeowners. And also, if you're looking to sell, we want you to leverage that as well, because people are purchasing homes. And so I do want to make sure that we touch on some things. We can't do it all in these settings, but we'll bring more and more settings to you If you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell, just have them to raise their hand. Give us a call. Nate is here, I'm here, and there's a couple of other people that are here that are real estate agents as well. But give us a call and let us know. But start here, because here's what I like. I like loyalty, and I like people to say, I promise that I will pick up the phone and call you first, right? So that we can always be in contact. I'm a different kind of agent. I like to educate. This is the reason for this platform, because I want to make sure people are able to talk through those things that you may not be as educated about at the time, but by the time you walk away from myself and the lenders, you will be educated. And we want to make sure that you understand that home buying is not as scary as it appears to be. From talking to other people, but we want to help you get there, because this is so important. We gave you all of those things, the reasons why we purchase homes, but you go back and sit down and you think about your why. Why would you want to purchase a home, or why would you want to remain renting? Why would you want to have a landlord that is an individual landlord and you're paying their mortgage versus paying your own? Because he's leveraging or she's leveraging, but you need to leverage. So I want you all to start thinking about that, and let's continue these conversations. Now, I'm going to take you all off of the mic because I want to ask a few questions, and I just want your answer. Is this something that has helped you today? If it has helped you today, just give us a thumbs up. Tell us that, and I'll even unmute you. Katie, you can unmute everyone, and you can let us know if it's something else that you need to hear from us in order for us to get you to the next level. Thank you so much for participating. Yes, thank you, Katie. So bottom line, real estate is complicated. That's where I come in. That's where Nate comes in. And my goal is for you to feel like you have touched the expert, and we have the experience to get you where you need to be at. So we thank you so much for taking the time out. We will continue. It is our passion to serve our community. We want to make sure that everyone get the experience of being a homeowner, and to leverage for your family, and to make sure that your family have everything that other families have been afforded in this day and time. Thank you. We can take them off of mute, Katie, and we just want to hear a little bit of feedback. Thank you. I see thumbs up, thumbs up. Make sure you get Nathaniel's information. I will make sure that his information is included in our slides in the future, so that we can make sure that you have a large visual of how to get in contact with him. So we can unmute Katie. You there? Donna?
Hey, Patrice,
Hey, Donna.
how are you?
Good, good.
I'm
So
glad you invited me.
oh, awesome. I'm glad you came. Did you hear something that could possibly help you in the future?
Yeah. I can't do anything right now, but I'm trying to get myself. I want to know where to begin, and do some things. I know I got to clean up some stuff. But you pointed me in the direction of which way I should go, and things. So if you have anybody in Virginia that you can recommend me to, please do.
I do.
Yeah. I went to somebody before, and it's been a couple of years now, and I did what the person asked me to do, and I contacted them. I never heard anything back from them. So, I got a little discouraged, and so now I have a lot of stuff to clean up, but I do need some help.
Yeah, we and Patrice, I'll chime in here. So my service areas is the DMV, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas, Mississippi, New Jersey, California. So we're pretty much everywhere. So we do have the capability of accommodating, you know, your needs in any state. And again, we also have a value add resource that if in fact, you know, there are any credit hurdles or things that need to be sorted out, we have a system that can pinpoint exactly what you'll need to do in order to get your credit to where it needs to be. It's that thorough. And again, this is a part of the action plan we put in place for all of our clients who just needs a little bit more hand holding and help. You know, that's where we're practitioners, and that's where that's one of our niches, I would say. So, you know, maybe after this call, we could potentially set up some time. I'll be more than happy. And I would love to just kind of go over what we could do to potentially help you.
Okay, sounds good.
And Donna, I'll share your information with Nate, and you
Okay.
all can start a dialogue. And I'll reach out to you as well and give you a call. I also have a Virginia agent on here that could help you as well. So I'm excited about, you know, you just taking the time out to visit us on our platform. We're going to continue to do these platforms, and we want you to invite everyone out. It doesn't matter where they live. They can live in Texas, they can live wherever. We want to invite people out so that people can start thinking about the transition from the rental into the being a homeowner.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Patrice, I can't thank you enough. I love the fact that you have created this platform, which really helps all of us in really having clarity and power over what our relationship is with money, no matter how much or how less we have, and the different things that we can do to build financial health and wealth in real estate. That is definitely so important. So again, I just wanted to say that to you, and also giving us just that private space to speak with you and see how you're going to take so many to the next level, and make it a seamless, pain-free process, as you say. So again, thank you. I love your work and your support and your loyalty to your client base. And I'm just excited to see all the many great things that you're about to make happen for so many of us.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it. This is awesome. Would you like to say something? I saw you had a question early on. You talked about NACA.
Just wondering about it. If you have ever worked with anybody who applied for the NACA loans.
Yes.
Just something.
Yes, I have. Have you already gotten started?
Yeah, I've gotten started with it.
Okay. But also, feel free to reach out to Nathaniel as well. Because he may be able to also point you in a couple of directions as well. I don't know. I know that that's a process that, you know, there's so many steps with NACA. Not saying that we should not leverage NACA, but there's other product and services that are out there as well. So I would recommend that you give Nathaniel a call, or Nathaniel, you give him a call, so that we can see how, you know, we can help. And if there's any questions that you have, we can talk through them with you. I think I have your number in my phone.
Yep.
Yeah. NAC is an amazing program. We do work with NACA. I know that in most cases, once you've finished or completed the course and they've provided you with the certificate, they just want to make sure that you can secure finance. And that's where we kind of step in. So yes, we do work with clients who have gone through the NACA program and have helped them and, you know, shed light on how the program actually works. So, you know, again, if you want to set up some time, we can definitely go in, you know, more detail to see where you are and how we can help.
And if you don't mind, I would love to join that conversation with you all, just so that I can also I generally use this opportunity with my clients to sit down with Nathaniel and just have conversations, just so that I can be educated too on the product or the service that he has offered or that he's talked about with you. So, I mean, let me just tell you, we are a team. We do not leave. Pretty much the real estate agents do not leave people behind. But as Donna said, there's maybe a time where, you know, there's a disconnect, but that's why I'm always here. And Donna is family. I'm always here, you know, to be an assistant to you and anyone else that's in our community to help us get where we need to be. I tell you, it is so amazing. And I have really leveraged in my life just being a homeowner. But also I leveraged a little more with being with agents, and this was before I became a real estate agent, but being with agents and lenders that really educate you and help you get to the next level. So Tracy, any questions? You excited? Michelle? Any questions? Okay, well, this concludes our podcast for today. I just want to thank you all so much for hanging in here with us. I know it was a little long, but this is so exciting to me. This is my passion. This is where I live. I will, you know, take you by the hand and walk you through the process just to help you get where you need to be. But I will also ask that you will recommend myself and Nathaniel to other people that you know that may be looking to buy or sell, and we will definitely be an assistant to them as well. Thank you all so much. And thank you, Katie, my lady, for being everything. Elvin, I'm gonna give you a call.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, Patrice, for all that you do.
Thank
Really
you, Nate.
appreciate it.
I
You got it.
appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thanks so much. So we'll have our next podcast in about 2 weeks, and we'll just jump on just like this on a Sunday, and we'll come back and just be giving information. We may just be even just talking about, you know, just home buying experiences. But I think the next one will be within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And if you want to reach out to me before then, please do not hesitate. I'm here. You do not have to wait. Okay? Thanks again. Thank you, Elvin. Elvin, I'm going to call you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Katie. We can stop now.